blog.
Hello, this is Tim from Twice Circled, and welcome to episode 27 of the official Big Pharma video blog. Today we have a special guest. It is none other than Cliff Harris of Positech Games. Hello, Cliff.
Hello, geeks.
So, as if you might have seen the last video blog we did together, Cliff is the publisher of Big Pharma, and therefore he gets to come and get a first-hand view of all of the cool stuff in the brand new marketing and malpractice expansion. Look, we have a little logo here and everything.
Yay!
So this is the first of 3 video blogs. Weekly vlogs are going to be coming out every week between now and the release of the expansion. And in this first one, I'm going to be given an overview of the major changes in this expansion, and we'll get to see a few of the specific kind of systems in action, and then in the remaining 2 vlogs we'll be going into detail on all of the remaining systems. Cliff hasn't seen very much of this because I've been an awful developer and not sent him very many builds of this. So
I'm just not that interested, if I'm honest.
So it's going to be quite it's going to be interesting, I think, for him because he's going to see stuff for the first time. Okay, I've decided I want to play the quick start missions. All of the missions from the original game are playable with the expansion, and I'm going to play on quick draw because I want to get into things a little bit quicker than I normally do. Okay, you'll see your first new feature
Wow,
in the
Tim.
expansion. It's we've added perks. So these are, I'll show you very briefly. I've unlocked all but one. These are permanent fixed bonuses that you choose at the beginning for your company. You got things like homeopath and executive and trust me I'm a doctor and overanalyzer. For example, the overanalyzer means you start the game with access to a fully upgraded analyzer. So if you really want to go for cures that don't have any nasty stuff in them, you can go for that route. Then down here you have the briber, which means that you can disqualify trial results without taking bad publicity, but it costs you money instead. So that's just on the other end of the spectrum. Naughty stuff.
Why have you put a homeopath in? We're just going to upset all the geeks that hate it. Does that let you actually sell the sugar pills? That would be brilliant.
No, it's minus 20% side effect strength.
Okay.
And yeah, so anyway, I'm going to show you these in another video. I'm actually going to play with some. In this video, I'm just going to play without any. Yeah, I'll get to that in another one. So, welcome to the expansion. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to hop over to the Cures tab, and this has changed quite a lot. First things first, you've got this beautiful pie chart here. This is currently saying that for these cures, there is, I'm going to pause the game, there is nothing being made. This big grey pie is saying that it's currently completely unfulfilled, and there's 5.2 per day of demand. So, Cliff, this is a really big change. Basically, in the original game...
Well, it's a pie chart. I mean,
No.
don't get above yourself.
It's not the pie chart, that's the big change. The big change is we have completely fixed demand in the expansion. So this is something that some people kind of requested, and it's actually something that really fundamentally changes the way that you compete with your competitors and the way you sell stuff. Is that before you could actually sell as much as you wanted of any drug, and now you actually have this fixed demand that they actually only want, the market wants 5.2 a day maximum. And it means that if your drug is better than your competitors, you can actually deny them sales. Whereas then in the original game, it was in the base game, it just means the price goes down, which is a little simpler, but it doesn't kind of allow you to do quite so much cool stuff.
But can you increase that maximum by telling people they're ill when they're not?
Yeah, that's exactly one of the things that you can do. You can run disease awareness campaigns. We'll have a little look at all the various new tricks that you can do with executives, which are a big part of the expansion. But yes, one of the things you will eventually be able to do in the late game is actually influence the demand itself. So we're going to have a little look here, and we can see that there's painkillers and cold symptoms are nice high demand. So we're going to start with those because they're easy to get going. So we can build. I've just bought a new thing here because I didn't want to waste this big plot with a tiny little production line. So we're just going to build a couple of these. Oh, in fact, I've just realised I've actually got the agglomerator because we're playing quick start. So I could have gone straight for those, but never mind. We'll just go with the old-fashioned evaporator start.
This is impressive. It's like watching AlphaGo or something. Just throwing agglomerators around like some sort of agglomerating ninja.
And then we're going to do the same over here. We're going to make a quick cold symptoms product. And then I'm going to be able to show you exactly how this new market system works. So once these have worked their way through, there we go. I think we've sold our first new product. We can jump to the company tab. And the big change is now you don't just have your sales, however much you sell per month, always being sold. You actually have this stock, and when you export your drug, it goes into your stock, but it doesn't actually get instantly sold. You have to make sure that your product is good enough and there's demand for it before it will sell. So if we make too much of either of these items, they literally just won't sell, and it will just be a waste of money. So you've got to be careful to always be matching your production and demand.
But that isn't a problem, I take it. You don't need to like buy a stock room or anything like that.
No, it's just a very quick way of losing money, because you're basically, every time you've made a drug which is not sold, you're just pouring money away, basically. I mean, eventually you'll sell it, but the thing is, if you're making more drugs than if you're consistently making more than you're selling, you're just gonna lose money. You know what I mean? Because of the ingredient costs and the process costs, but you're not getting the actual revenue from it. You can see here is a new to make space for the very wide table we have now, because there's a lot more stuff going on. We actually now have our cash flow up here. That's quite a new addition to the game. Do you like it?
It's all excitingly new. I'm beside myself with stats.
So because we're currently selling plenty of these things, our daily sales are matching our daily production, we can actually charge a premium. So the way I've done the manual pricing in the game is it's all based on a kind of nominal value, which is kind of the standard value from the original game, if you like. But you can charge a premium or discount, which will increase or decrease your sales. You can already see here that actually our daily sales are now dropped a little bit, and our stock is starting to build up. So we've obviously put it a little bit too high, so let's put it on 5. That gives you a little bit of an idea. Now you can imagine that once one of our competitors starts making a product, it's going to get much harder to sell everything we have, especially if we're trying to charge a premium.
So at that point we poison them or something, do we?
Well, we have different options. We either make a better drug, or we use marketing to increase the sales rating, which is it's kind of like the cure rating. It goes from F to S, but it's all about how well it sells. So what you can do is by default, your sales rating is the same as your cure rating, which is calculated in exactly the same way. We're very familiar to people who've played the original game. But now you can use executives, and basically every feature in the expansion pretty much affects sales rating. And so there are these kind of options. You don't just have to make a good drug. You can make terrible drugs, but use marketing to sell them anyway.
That's basically my business model.
So we got a couple of. They're making antibiotics, and I've been talking too much and not making enough drugs because they're all making way too much stuff.
Make drugs.
So what you can see here is now there's actually some competition. I'm going to pause the game here. There's now actually some competition. We're still able to sell all of our stock, but it's going to be harder, basically.
So can we be like Starbucks and just sell at a huge loss for ages to put them out of business?
Yes, absolutely you can. Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, obviously that's an awful thing. but in the spirit of satire, ooh.
Yeah, no, you absolutely can, and it's a difficult thing to pull off. If your production costs are low enough, then you can do it. You can undercut, and undercutting has got the advantage that it does deny sales to other people, but you are obviously you're losing money by doing it. So it's quite a tricky thing to do. One of the perks actually makes undercutting more powerful, like makes discounting increase your sales rating more, or your equivalent sales rating, and so actually you can base your entire strategy around undercutting your opponents if you want.
That's the Starbucks strategy.
Yeah. So here is, I've assigned a couple of researchers to sales reps. Now this is the first marketing research project that you can get. It's followed up by, once you get globalization, you can get advertising and trials. Trials are, wow, they're just evil. I'll be talking about trials in a
suppress the press
in a later
Excellent.
vlog. We have suppress the press, which decreases your chance of getting negative press stories. Gosh, that's another thing I need to talk about. I'm trying to keep it relatively to the basics. We'll definitely be using some sales reps. We might manage to get forward and get some advertising as well. Disease awareness campaigns are what we were talking about a moment ago, where you actually get to influence the demand for things. So this is basically kind of like scaremongering under the guise of
kind of is blatant scaremongering.
Yeah, it is, and this happens in real life. You have companies that they will fund these disease awareness campaigns, and you might not be aware. You might be thinking it's a charity or whatever, but actually it's funded by a corporate entity. What's this?
It's not just disease, it's all this kind of, are you feeling bloated?
Yeah.
And I sort of think, I don't even know. I don't know, maybe I am. It's just...
Okay, so I need to make some more money, because we haven't really done very much yet. So let's make so look, what I've tried to do with this is I've tried to add, while leaving, the spirit of the original game intact, okay? So what I mean by that is there's still an awful lot of production line making, but that was what, made the original game really fun, I think. So you'll still get to do that, but where I've added a lot is once you've made your production line, you have a lot of choices in terms of how you're going to sell it the most efficiently. And I actually think it's really, really... It's really powerful, actually, having a very good drug now, and in some ways in the original game that wasn't that powerful. It could be quite expensive to make an actually effective drug, but now, because it basically gives you a free boost to your sales rating, your cure rating, it's a really powerful tactic. But what's great is that we've also given loads of new powers to you via the marketing, and so you can do it either way. It's definitely possible to win by making good drugs, but it's also possible by just doing what I'm doing at the moment, which is making drugs just good enough to claim what they are. And then I'm going to use sales reps to increase their...
That would be the Call of Duty business model.
What, making something that's just good enough?
Or FIFA, yeah. That'll do. We've added moustaches. Ship it.
Have you got any... actually, I've not done this right. Have you got any questions so far, Cliff?
Oh my God, I should have something insightful to say at this point.
I have put you on the spot, clearly. So.
I'm not used I'm just amazed at how quickly you do everything. I mean, not develop the game, obviously.
Yeah, sure. Very slow there.
Score, but,
let's get a loan.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen?
So I'm looking forward to getting these sales reps. Another couple of months, so let's just check. So now we go back to the company tab. We've been making some more stuff. Look, we've now got some stock building up. Why? Because Medicore and Expedite Medicine are both competing with us. You can see the colours. This is obviously just good for a glance. If you want to get a breakdown, you can come to here and you can actually hover over the individual slices, and it will tell you exactly what product it is, what its cure rating is, and what it's currently selling per day.
So will they undercut you deliberately as a strategy as well?
They may do. I actually still need to do a really big update to the AI. They currently kind of just vary their prices to try and minimize their stock, but they have their own kind of capacities for this. So Medicore actually likes making really good drugs. You might find that well, here you can see where she's actually moved the concentration of this diabetes one to the left further so that it doesn't cause any side effects, because she's the doctor, she's Penny. And she likes
these are all your own sort of fantasy friends that you've created personalities for.
So she's she likes to charge a premium actually and make actually good stuff, whereas Jenny here doesn't really mind bringing the prices down. You're laughing at the names I've given them.
Well, no, it's just like you speak about them as though, like,
God.
they're your little imaginary friends.
Oh,
which,
I've messed this up.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've tried to give them characters, and they do play very differently in terms of their what strategies they use. And what's kind of nice is I've got even more to play with now. Like Barclay and Penny, you can laugh at me
You've got
again
more imaginary friends to play with now.
Barclay and Penny are really good at they like to use all like the marketing and that sort of stuff. Oh god, how do I do this?
So do the AI doodads, do they choose perks as well?
Yes, they do.
And can you see which one they've got, or
you can. That's actually not quite in yet. I've got the perk dialogue, and you can unlock the perks, but I haven't quite got the fact that the AIs use them. But yeah, that will be here at the top. You'll be able to see the perks that they have. And that's what's really fun about the perks is it will create even more kind of diversity between what you do and what the AIs do, which is I think something that will make the game a lot more interesting. You'll really get much more distinct play styles coming from them. So I've gone for sales reps pretty quickly here. The AI
clubs.
Huh?
Golf clubs,
exactly.
That is golf clubs.
So now I can finally show you this. So if I go here, I can now click on the sales bonus column, and we have a daily production 0.1. That's going to go to 0, right? We've got a sugar pill which we've just made 25 of, and it's completely pointless, so we can just hide that. I made a mistake.
Or sell it as homeopathy.
Yeah.
That really should be an option. Just sell useless pills to delusional customers.
So basically here I can see that my stock is building up with both my Sue's cold symptoms and my antibiotics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the executive dashboard, which is where we assign our executives. And this is where you do your trials. This is where you can offer doctors gifts. You can do portfolio presentations, which has a kind of combo effect, where it'll actually give you it'll give you a bonus to sales across all cures of the same family.
Ooh, what do you mean by the same family, Tim?
So, I'm just going to assign a sales rep here. If I go to the cure tree, these are all in the body response family, and these are all in the infection family, and these are all in the pain family. So there is a whole new thing where if you actually specialize in a particular set of cures, you can derive a kind of bonus from that, which you couldn't do in the original. It really didn't matter which ones you went for. So I'm just trying to add more kind of interesting decisions to make, and more chances to just be a clever so-and-so, basically. So here we go. I've assigned a sales rep.
You're just trying to get a date with Penny, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to impress her. So I've upgraded my sales reps once. I need another 2 upgrade points to unlock the final activity that they can do. So basically, once you unlock the project, and this is the same for both the advertising and the disease awareness campaigns, you then have to upgrade the project. I don't know if that paused my video recording. I hope it did not. We've unlocked the analyzer, so now if we want to... Now this is going against our original strategy, which was to...
you had a strategy?
Oh, apparently. We're making antibiotics here. So what we're going to do is once we make this into an antibiotic, we're going to use an analyzer.
Oh, there was all sorts of exciting new things I saw there, Tim.
Oh yeah. So I'm saving a little bit for some of the other episodes. You can now
check it out.
You can connect sockets now. This is actually going to be behind a research project, I think, rather than just being available all the time. I'm not ready to show you this yet because it needs a bit of tidying up, but it does work. So you can actually
tease.
You can connect sockets together. So basically, you can just send them out any socket and into any other one. And all you do is lose the socket, essentially. You lose access to it as an import or an export. But it really does make a lot of interesting stuff possible. So we'll definitely have some fun with that. We've also got the stock gate, which allows you to automate your productions based on your current stocks. So what we could do, when I say stocks, I mean of your products. Here we've obviously got we've been making way too much of this stuff. So, analysis complete. So what we're
To be fair, it's an antibiotic that you're charging $300 for. I think you've missed the market there slightly.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's a fair point. We're making quite a lot of money on it, even though we're not selling all of it, which is really interesting. We could possibly give a bit more of a discount for it and undercut. I mean, should we try that?
You think?
All right, let's. The thing is,
give it away, crush the opposition.
And look at my share now. So it's 31%, and this should go up 35, 36.
Yes. Put them out of business.
And it'd be really interesting if Medicore stopped making it. Okay, that's where our sweet spot for the strength is.
Is that the point at which Penny actually goes on a date with you in order to ask you to stop?
Shut up. And then we'll do this, so we'll pump it up a bit more. I can't remember what I was talking about. You're so distracting.
You're talking about the stock gate.
Stock gate. Thanks, Cliff. So the stock gate would actually let us, if we didn't do this, what we could do actually is have something which, when the stock goes above, say, 30, it will automatically switch and start producing something different.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It needs a certain kind of way of building to kind of get your head around it. But if you build all of your lines in this way, it doesn't make them much, much bigger. You kind of end up having these kind of combined lines which kind of degrade. You make the most expensive thing you can, but then when your stock's too high, it degrades and makes it short circuits is a better way of putting it, and it will start making the level 2 product, for example. You could have one which splits between 3 and 2, and when there's too much 3 to be sold, it makes 2 instead, which is easier to sell because it's got a higher demand.
See, it suddenly occurs to me that if you have a cure for some sort of infectious disease, and you were to completely take over the market and then stop making it entirely in order to get more and more people infected.
Right.
Surely that's a good business strategy, isn't it, Tim?
No comment. So I'm trying to... there's lots of different ways of playing it. I mean, with the infectious diseases, there's malaria and I think it must be HIV, or it might be AIDS. They're infectious, and so they actually increase in demand over time. Let's look at the anti-malarial. So look, you can see this increasing. So you could certainly kind of wait until this has got really, really high before making any of it, and just stockpile loads of loads of stock, and then sell it for loads while you cure everybody.
Yoga.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of playing along.
We should definitely treat yoga and feng shui as well. Do away with that.
I'm so distracted. Gosh, I'm playing awfully. It's kind of embarrassing. I wanted to show you a few more things. So what we've done now is we've made a better infectious thingy. This would be better if it was a cream, actually. We should totally research the cream creamer. But this should start getting better quality. You can see that it's already a C+. Unfortunately, it does have a side effect, which isn't great. And we're selling the soothes cold symptoms. So what we can actually do is if we take this out of sales reps and put it into portfolio presentations, take this one out of sales reps and put it into portfolio presentations. In fact, no, let's do this one actually. So we've got a total of plus 15, 10 from this sales reps, and 5 is actually being passed over from the soothes cold symptoms product because they're in the same family. So it's just what I explained earlier, just in action. So now if we added a third product onto there, then it really starts to pay dividends. But this is an interesting way of getting like a plus 15% when normally we'd only be able to get plus 10% from our sales reps, which our sales rating's getting better and better. Look at this.
This is synergy, baby.
It is. It's synergy.
You need a pop-up. Synergy has been achieved.
And we could start charging a little bit more for this, actually.
Synergy bonus.
Because we've got no stock. So look, we've got 43% of the market now, and that's partly because of our usage of the marketing, but also this is a better product. This is at least a C, whereas we were trying to work with a D. Okay, so
we are the arse end of Pharma. Churn it out.
So
put it in a coloured box.
that's been about half an hour. I know I've been a bit scattered talking about all sorts of stuff. I hope that gives just an introduction to what's going on, and I look forward to when I get everything in the next couple of weeks. I'll be able to get everything hooked up properly, and I'll be ready to show you the perks and
socket connections
and the booster. So the booster mixer, it transfers. So you have these new effects called boosters, which increase sales ratings depending on what you're selling. I'll see if I can find one. Well, here, this is going to be a booster effect, but we haven't researched it, unfortunately. But basically, they are another way of kind of pumping up your sales rating. It doesn't actually make your product any better. It's kind of just a marketing thing. It's things like fast acting will increase the sales rating of any pain medication. So any of these ones, painkillers or ease migraine pills, it'll boost it by 25%. So it's another way of just kind of adding more choices into kind of where you want to concentrate your resources, and the booster mixer allows you to do it really, really efficiently because it has a process time of 1, and it only has a small footprint, whereas the multi-mixer is a little bit harder to get them in together. Gosh, I feel like I've talked about so much stuff. I really wanted to keep it to the simple stuff, but obviously
it's exciting, Tim.
You were keen to talk about these new exciting things. I know, right?
Well, this is why the expansion is going to cost $50. You have to point this sort of stuff out. It's going to be fast-acting, easy-to-swallow expansion.
I know. I'm hoping to get a really good sales rating bonus on it. We're going to send some sales reps out, Cliff. Have you got that sorted?
Yeah, we're going to... Anyone who wants to do a YouTube stream will get golf clubs.
Okay, good. That is not true. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this episode. Apologies if it was a little bit scattered, but let's just blame Cliff's influence here. I was just obviously nervous about trying to impress him and Penny. But yeah,
that's not... Which one's Penny? I've forgotten now.
Oh, this is Jenny. This is Penny. Shut up.
Have you got little cuddly toys of them, Tim?
Well, we should do. We should start churning out some merch.
Some merch? Do you think so?
Yeah, I think we could get merch going. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Cliff.
Okay.
Do you have any parting words for the lovely viewers?
Buy this. It looks amazing. Don't you think it looks awesome? No, I think it does look good, actually, because the competition is suddenly much more of a big deal.
It is. Exactly. That is the core. That's what I wanted to get across in this video. The core of the expansion is it's called marketing and malpractice. It's all about that competition element, and every mechanic and every system I've added is basically influences this sales rating. It gives you really interesting choices. In terms of the malpractice, well, you have the gifts, you can disqualify trials, you have the preventative aftercare, which prevents diseases being cured, because the idea is you keep selling it to them after they've been cured, because it's preventative aftercare.
I like that.
You have symptom awareness campaigns, which increase demand, and then you have corporate slander, which decreases the sales ratings of competing products, including your own. Good. Yeah. So this one can also result in bad publicity if you're not careful. So yeah, that's where the malpractice comes from, the title. It should be a lot of fun. All right, thank you everybody very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.